There is an idea the NBA media has been pushing for years. It's not just about winning, it's about the process of growth. When Giannis Antetokounmpo painted this rosy picture, the whole world applauded him, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander completely shattered that rosy picture. When a leader who just won back-to-back MVPs and secured 64 wins brutally calls himself a failure the moment he gets knocked out on the doorstep of the finals, what exactly does that make the other 29 teams in the NBA? Because most players would talk about success after a season like this. Shai, however, said something completely different. I failed at my goal. Shai's statement actually reignited one of the oldest debates in the NBA. How do you measure the value of a season? By a championship or by growth? Because from Shai's perspective, the answer is crystal clear. You either achieve your goal or you don't. Is this uncompromising mindset the fuel for the next dynasty? Or is it a dangerous obsession that will rot this young team from the inside out? And that's where the most interesting part begins. Because Shai's way of thinking takes us to perhaps the most debated question in sports. Just 1 year ago, the Oklahoma City Thunder were the NBA champions. Shai had put up one of the most efficient seasons in history, carrying his team to their first title. That same momentum carried over into this season. Defensive rating, offensive rating, assist average, they were top 5 in every major statistical category in the league. He was voted back-to-back MVP once again. Many analysts viewed Oklahoma City as the runaway favorite in the Western Conference. The expectation was clear, a conference championship, but an extraordinary obstacle was waiting for them in the playoffs. To understand why Shai feels this way, we need to look at the tactical anatomy of the Western Conference Finals. Throughout the regular season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shot a historic 55.3% from the field, punishing opponents with his patient, almost robotic mid-range game. He was unguardable. However, the San Antonio Spurs flipped the script on this equation. The Spurs deployed Stephon Castle to disrupt Shai's rhythm on the perimeter, but the real nightmare was waiting in the paint. Victor Wembanyama single-handedly altered the entire geometry of the floor. In the regular season, Shai's biggest weapon was driving into the paint, collapsing the defense and finding those tiny pockets of space in the mid-range. But Wembanyama's presence almost completely erased those openings. For the first time, the Thunder offense struggled to find its usual rhythm. As Shai admitted in his post-game press conference, there's a slightly different guy behind the rim. Everything is funneled toward him. Shai's shooting efficiency plummeted to 40.9% over the course of the 7-game series. Every single drive to the cup required maximum physical exertion. The mid-range pockets that Oklahoma City had perfected all year were essentially choked out by Wembanyama's historic wingspan. For the first time this year, Oklahoma City looked vulnerable. Yet, despite this suffocating defense, Shai somehow dragged his team to a Game 7 and fought until the final buzzer. But in the eyes of an MVP, if the scoreboard isn't in your favor at the end of the night, simply giving it your all means absolutely nothing. This dynamic leads us to the ultimate philosophical debate in modern sports. What actually is failure? Just a few years ago, Giannis Antetokounmpo delivered a viral, globally praised speech on this exact topic. Giannis argued that there is no such thing as failure in sports. He claimed every season is just a step toward success, comparing it to a person's career path where they get a promotion every year. He viewed sports as a long-term process of development, providing for your family and daily progress. It was a modern, comforting approach that resonated with millions of people.
Oh my God. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? There's always steps to it. You know, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me.
But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander completely rejected this philosophy. By calling his team's 64-win season a failure, Shai aligned himself with a much older, far more ruthless school of thought. This is the ideological lineage of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Jordan famously said years ago, "Winning has a price." Kobe, throughout his career, made it clear time and time again that he never viewed second place as a success. Shai's words fall right in line with that exact approach. According to this mindset, 30 teams start the season with one singular goal, and therefore, 29 teams finish the season as failures. However, not everyone shares this point of view, and honestly, NBA history doesn't just validate Shai's side. Many legendary players like LeBron James, Tim Duncan, and Stephen Curry, despite living under constant championship pressure throughout their careers, never completely dismissed growth and process-driven thinking. Perhaps that was one of the reasons they were able to stay at the absolute apex for so long. The easiest thing a superstar can do after a devastating Game 7 loss is to point out the disadvantages. And God knows, Oklahoma City had plenty of excuses to hide behind. Jalen Williams, the team's secondary scorer and emotional anchor, missed almost the entire series due to a severe hamstring injury, forcing him to watch Game 7 from the sidelines in street clothes. On top of that, their young star big man, Chet Holmgren, hit a physical wall, finishing Game 7 with just 4 points, while struggling against the sheer size of the Spurs' front court. The media was ready to hand Oklahoma City a free pass. They were so young. Injuries broke them. Their time would come. But a true leader refuses to use a safety net. Shai didn't mention the injuries even once. He didn't blame the front office for a lack of depth, nor did he question the coaching staff's adjustments. More importantly, when reporters implicitly questioned Chet Holmgren's underwhelming performance, Shai instantly took accountability, shielding his young teammate from the media wolves. He said, "I didn't play my best game either. Chet knows how much I care about this game, and we are in this together." This is exactly where Shai's definition of failure stops being just an aggressive soundbite and turns into a masterclass in leadership. Before anyone else, he demands perfection from himself. Shai capped off his press conference with a striking statement. "I grow the most when I fail and don't get what I want. Now I have to find the reason why and ensure it never happens again." He views this immense emotional pain not as a setback, but as a diagnostic tool to upgrade his game for next year. On the flip side of the coin, we have to analyze the potential cost of this relentless pressure. This Oklahoma City Thunder roster is one of the youngest core groups in modern NBA history. While a veteran squad might thrive under this championship or bust mentality, how will such a young group carry this massive psychological weight? Will Shai's uncompromising standards forge a culture of fearless champions, or will it inadvertently create an environment of intense anxiety and early burnout where the joy of the game gets lost? History has shown us that the Mamba mentality can forge gold, but it has also proven it can break those who aren't mentally equipped to carry its weight. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showed us exactly what kind of player he is. He rejected the comfort that comes with a successful regular season, choosing instead to head into the offseason carrying the heavy burden of an unfulfilled promise. Do you think Shai is being unfairly harsh on himself and this young squad? Or is this uncompromising, cutthroat mentality the exact thing that separates regular stars from legendary champions? And the bigger question is, if a 64-win MVP winning season is viewed as a failure, how many players in NBA history can actually be considered successful? Share your thoughts with me in the comments, and let's get the debate started. Make sure you're subscribed, leave a like on the video, and turn on notifications. See you in the next video. Take care of yourselves.